24 hours of pure chaos. The kind of chaos that makes you question everything you thought you knew about your day-to-day life. 24 hours of pure chaos. It was as if the universe decided to throw everything at us all at once, testing our limits. 24 hours of pure chaos. The city was alive with a frenetic energy, a pulse that seemed to quicken with every passing moment. I had no idea it would end like this. It all started on a Tuesday, a perfectly normal, boring Tuesday, or so I thought. I woke up feeling great, the sun shining, birds singing, even remembered to put the trash out. I thought, Jimmy, you've got this. Today is your day. Everything seemed to be in perfect harmony. My big meeting was at noon, suit ready, notes prepared, confidence high. I made breakfast, sipped orange juice, felt totally in control. I was ready to conquer the world. Gary, my dog, was unusually quiet. I should have noticed. The house was silent. Kids at their grandparents, just me and Gary. It was the kind of silence that feels almost too good to be true. I had the whole morning to get ready. Plenty of time, right? I imagined reviewing my notes, ironing my shirt, arriving early. Everything was going according to plan. I was living in a fantasy world where nothing goes wrong. The calm was a lie. A beautiful, wonderful lie. It was the kind of calm that lulls you into a false sense of security. The universe was winding up for the pitch, and I was standing there, bat on my shoulder, smiling at the picture. I had no idea what was coming. I was blissfully unaware of the storm brewing. Just a guy trying to have a good Tuesday. A guy about to learn a very important lesson about plants, dogs, and the structural integrity of a cheap coffee pot. Life has a way of surprising you when you least expect it. The storm was just about to hit, and when it did, it would change everything. The first sign of trouble started, as it often does, with coffee. It's funny how something so simple can set the tone for your entire day. I needed caffeine for my big presentation. My nerves were already on edge, and I was counting on that first cup to give me the boost I desperately needed. I prepped the coffee maker, pressed the button, and waited, watching the machine with anticipation. The gentle hum of the machine was oddly comforting. The smell of brewing coffee filled the air. Everything was perfect. For a moment I felt like maybe, just maybe, today would go smoothly. I turned my back for a second to grab my favorite mug, the one I always used for important mornings. That's when I heard it. A pop, a fizz, then a sudden, ominous gush. My heart skipped a beat as I spun around. The coffee pot had exploded, hot, black liquid everywhere. It was like a coffee volcano had erupted right in my kitchen. My kitchen was a disaster zone. My superhero feeling vanished in an instant, replaced by panic and disbelief. I was just a guy standing in a puddle of coffee, staring at the chaos, wondering how things went so wrong so quickly. I grabbed towels, frantically trying to mop up the mess, but it was hopeless. The coffee seemed to spread faster than I could clean. Coffee on my pants, the very ones I needed for my meeting. Of course, it had to be today. My perfect morning was ruined. All my careful planning, gone in an instant. Gary woke up, started licking the coffee off the floor. No, Gary, bad dog. The last thing I needed was a hyper-caffeinated dog. I managed to clean up most of the mess, but my kitchen smelled like burnt coffee, and my pants were ruined. The air was thick with disappointment and the scent of disaster. I had to find a new pair, scrambling through drawers, hoping I had something presentable left. The chaos had officially begun, and my day was off to a truly unforgettable start. With my coffee dreams shattered and my pants stained, I raced upstairs for a new outfit. I grabbed the first pair of pants, tight, but no time to be picky. Fresh shirt on, I was determined to salvage the day. I ran downstairs only to see the front door wide open. In my panic, I'd left it open. Gary was gone. Panic set in. I ran outside yelling his name. The neighborhood echoed with my desperate calls. I searched everywhere, no sign of him. My meeting seemed insignificant now. All I wanted was to find my dog. After what felt like forever, I spotted him 2 blocks away, playing with Mrs. Henderson's poodle. He was trying to steal her sparkly pink collar. I apologized to Mrs. Henderson, clipped the leash on Gary, and hurried home. The great pet escape was over, but my chaotic day was just getting started. My meeting was in 30 minutes. I was sweaty, disheveled, and still hadn't had any coffee. I dragged Gary home, frustration mounting. I needed to leave for my meeting, now. As I grabbed my things, a smoky smell hit me. I'd left the stove on. My breakfast eggs were now a black, smoking lump. The smoke alarm shrieked. Gary barked. I lunged for the stove, burning my hand. I opened windows, fanned the air, silenced the alarm. The kitchen was a mess. Again. I looked at the clock. I was officially late. My big opportunity was gone, all because of a series of stupid, unlucky events. I slumped against the counter, defeated. Just when I thought things couldn't get crazier, there was a knock at the door. I braced for Mrs. Henderson, but it was 2 men in expensive suits, Mr. Thompson and Mr. Davies, the executives I was supposed to meet. They stood on my smoky, chaotic doorstep. Mr. Thompson sniffed the air. "Is something burning?" I stammered. "There was a small kitchen incident." Gary barked at our guests. "We were worried when you didn't show up," Mr. Thompson said. "Your office said you were working from home, so we thought we'd stop by." Of course, today of all days. I had no choice but to invite them in. They tried not to react to the smell of smoke. I offered water, praying they wouldn't ask for coffee. The most important meeting of my career was happening in my living room 5 minutes after I nearly burned my house down. I felt a strange sense of calm. Things couldn't possibly get any worse. There I was, sitting across from the two most important people in my professional life. The air still smelled faintly of disaster. Gary settled at my feet. The chaos was out in the open. Burnt pan, coffee stains, tight pants. I decided to own it. Gentlemen, I owe you an apology and an explanation. I told them everything. The exploding coffee pot, the escaped dog, the smoke alarm, the burnt breakfast. No excuses, just the truth. To my surprise, they smiled. Mr. Thompson shared a story about his cat flooding his bathroom before a big flight. Mr. Davies laughed about his kid coloring his presentation. Suddenly, we were just people, not colleagues. The meeting turned into a real conversation about work, dogs, kids, and chaos. The tension was gone. We connected in a way that never would have happened in a boardroom. In the middle of the most stressful day of my life, I found a moment of genuine connection. As the meeting ended, Mr. Thompson shook my hand firmly, his grip steady and reassuring. There was a sense of finality in the air, but also a strange undercurrent of possibility. "Jimmy, thank you for your honesty. It was refreshing," he said, his eyes meeting mine with genuine appreciation. In that moment, I realized how rare it was for someone to value straightforwardness in a world full of pretense. Mr. Davies nodded in agreement. "We'll be in touch," he added, his tone both professional and warm, leaving me with a glimmer of hope. I closed the door behind me, relief and disbelief washing over me in equal measure. My heart was still racing from the intensity of the meeting, but I felt lighter somehow. The house was quiet when I got home. The chaos of the day had finally subsided, replaced by a calm that felt almost surreal. I spent the afternoon cleaning, letting my mind wander as I vacuumed the living room and wiped down the kitchen counters. Each sweep of the cloth was like erasing a little bit of the stress from earlier. It was a disaster, but also kind of amazing. I found myself smiling at the absurdity of it all, realizing that sometimes the most memorable days are the ones that go completely off script. I'd been so focused on being perfect, on making sure every detail was flawless, but life isn't perfect. It's messy and unpredictable. And maybe that's what makes it interesting. Sometimes the best things happen when your plans fall apart. It's in those unscripted moments that you discover what you're really made of. The connection I made with my bosses that day was more valuable than any presentation I could have given. It was real, built on honesty and shared laughter in the face of chaos. The next day, just as I was settling into the quiet, I got a call from Mr. Thompson's assistant. My stomach flipped as I answered, unsure of what to expect. My heart pounded. Was I fired? Had my honesty backfired? I replayed every moment of the meeting in my head, searching for clues. I went to the office, nerves on edge, my mind racing with possibilities. Each step down the hallway felt heavier than the last. Mr. Thompson and Mr. Davies looked serious as I entered the room, their faces unreadable. The tension was thick enough to cut with a knife. "Jimmy, we've decided to go in a different direction," Mr. Thompson said. My heart sank, dread pooling in my stomach. "We're not giving you the project manager role." The words echoed in my mind, and I braced myself for disappointment. He paused, a small smile breaking through. "We're promoting you. We want you to lead the entire department." I blinked, barely able to process what I was hearing. "Yesterday, you showed us something more important than a perfect presentation. You showed us resilience, adaptability, and the courage to be yourself. You handled a crisis, stayed honest, and kept your sense of humor even when things went wrong. That's the kind of leadership we need here." I stood there, stunned, barely able to find the words to respond. It felt surreal, like I was living someone else's story. 24 hours of chaos, and I got the promotion. Sometimes, the universe rewards you for simply being real. All because my coffee pot exploded. Who knew that a little disaster could change everything?